We've tried to be really faithful and accurate to the history and the details of my father's life. I did try as hard as I could to be objective, and I took the biographical portion of the film very seriously, and I actually did really extensive research into my father's story and a lot of background research as well, the evolution of folk music in America. He's often been written about and spoken about in terms of his association with Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan, very neatly kind of sandwiched in between them. That's kind of a hard thing to always kind of be described in those terms, and that in fact his story has so much more scope and depth than just that. It's been a source of sadness and frustration for my father to see his friendship with Bob Dylan fall by the wayside and see some of his gestures towards Bob not reciprocated in recent years.
He used to wear a cowboy hat like Jack, right?
And so in setting out to make the film, originally I kind of felt that perhaps I wouldn't include Bob at all.
Ramblin' out of the Wild West, leaving the
But
town.
I came to feel that Dylan is an important figure for my father and that I should try to interview him. Of course, Bob Dylan doesn't give interviews ever, but I did hope that perhaps in this case he would, and that maybe it could give them some resolution to their relationship. So we requested an interview and were denied. But I feel that his absence says a lot.
There wouldn't be no Bob Dylan without Ramblin' Jack Elliott.
Several of the people that I spoke to in the film spoke to me about striking that balance between their artistic persona and still be able to have very rich family life. Chris Christopherson and Arlo Guthrie both are very family-oriented men who have been able to achieve a very good balance in their lives. But I wouldn't even begin to compare my father's work or life choices to them.
Hi, Aiyana. Happy birthday. This is your daddy. I finally got to a telephone about 6 days late.
There's some sadness there, I guess, a sort of lifelong frustration of mine about sort of not getting enough time with him that's expressed in the film.
Are you hoping to, like, uncork the mystery of what caused the fault between your mom and your pop?
As for the personal sections, I felt that it would bring the story to life for people and give them an emotional tie to it. In screening the film at Sundance, I've had a lot of people telling me how much the film resonated for them and reminded them of their relationship with their parents or their children.
I enjoyed the movie, but you made the movie, so I enjoyed meeting you.
Thank you.
Very much so.
And I didn't necessarily think that it would because my dad is such a unique character that I thought our story must be a very unique one. But I guess it's not. To get to share it with my father for the first time was a very emotional, important thing. During the premiere, my dad was sitting at the other end of the aisle from me. I think I was leaning over almost the whole time to try and see his reaction to the film. Whether or not he thinks I did him justice, he seemed to be smiling a lot.
Here for 6 years. I started out volunteering, and last year they promoted me to box office manager. We open up at 8 a.m. We usually have about 200 customers waiting for us. They stay here a lot of times overnight, so I can never get here prior to my customers. I try, but they beat me every time. They have their film, they've read about them, they know what they're about, so they're ready and ready to go. Main box office, this is Alison. Let me check for you. The red dots are sold out. There's nothing available. You're welcome. Yeah, we did.
There's what's on screen, and then there are the people that put it there. Cinematographer, writer, production designer, director, editor, producer, costume actor, composer. The filmmaking process is broken down in the Sundance Channel original series, Anatomy of a Scene. This month on Anatomy of a Scene, hear from the people who took an Angola prison jail cell and turned it into the Monsters Ball movie set.
Being at the actual prison and not like in a studio or something, it made the scene that much more real.
That's Monsters Ball on Anatomy of a Scene, premiering January 27th at 7:30.
Get down!
See, I'm a real full-fledged 100% pimp. It may look glamour-like to you because you see me riding, you dig? Snake skin down to the floor, you dig? The game will be good to you, be good to the game.
There's no business like whole business.
Vegas, Los Angeles, Seattle.
It's gonna be like from Frisco to Maine all the way to Spain.
Why do a hoe need a pimp? Because if a hoe don't get no instructions, she's going to be headed for self-destruction. A lot of stuff that has to do with pimping, the average squad don't understand.
It's us against the world. You know what I'm saying? Us against the world.
Now that's pimping.
It began as a place where Native Americans honored the spirit of Earth.
I bought 2 acres of land in 1961, and I built my own cabin in 1963. And that labor of love contributed to the root of Sundance emotionally for me, which meant that whatever went on here was going to have a lot of meaning and be long-term.
And grew into a community that celebrates nature and artistic expression.
When I found the idea of art and the environment mixing together, that was it. That was the it for me.
The Sundance Village. Log on to SundanceChannel.com now for your chance to come and experience the place.
Sundance Channel presents exclusive coverage of the 2002 Sundance Film Festival Awards ceremony, live from Park City, Utah.
I'm nervous. I don't know why.
Get a head start on the coming year of film with the Sundance Awards preview, a half-hour introduction to the films and filmmakers shaping the future of cinema.
Please hurry up and come up with another great idea.
Then catch the special live broadcast of the closing night ceremonies and discover the innovative films taking home the festival's top honors. Sundance Awards 2002.
Thank you so much.
January 19th at 9 p.m. only on Sundance Channel.
Coming up next on Sundance Channel. Waking the Dead. Billy Crudup stars as a man haunted to the point of madness by his true love, who may still be alive. Waking the Dead. Next.
I'm a chief film critic for Screen International. Being obsessive about movies, I see about 4 movies a day, average, and then write about one either late at night or very early in the morning. This is my breakfast, lunch, and supper. Here's a professional secret. You put the sandwich in your bag, and you take it in. I will be at the Eccles basically from 12 until 9 o'clock tonight. Sundance is one of my most challenging assignments.
Every Monday night at 9, It's a Matter of Fact, the best of non-fiction films. Monday, January 7th at 9, It's a Matter of Fact. Irie Bowling is the matriarch of a rural Appalachian clan of over 50 strong. Rory Kennedy's portrait of an impoverished yet prideful family in American Hollow. Monday, January 14th at 9, It's a Matter of Fact. Randy Keeler and Betsy Corner refuse to pay their federal taxes in protest of military funding. When the IRS displaces them from their home, a 21-month vigil begins in an act of conscience. Monday, January 21st at 9, It's a Matter of Fact. It's been said that madness and genius tread a thin line. Director Jessica Yu goes beyond that cliche to present us The Artists of the Living Museum, a therapeutic ward at Creedmoor Psychiatric Center. Monday, January 28th at 9, It's a Matter of Fact. Director Mark Singer lived under the streets of New York for 2 years, documenting the dire straits of a homeless community living underground in dark days. And that's a matter of fact. The best of nonfiction film. Every Monday night at 9. This month on Sundance Channel.
The film is the story of Miguel Pinero. Miguel Pinero is a man who started writing in Sing Sing when he wrote Short Eyes, which became a play he went, basically from Sing Sing to Broadway.
He was a remarkable poet and playwright and wrote of the things that he knew best, really raw, mean, down and dirty things.
Because even if I am half and half, any of those halves is more whole than all of you. Because I know what I am, and I know when it hurts. And I'm still the same man, the same Puerto Rican, 24 hours a day.
Benjamin wasn't afraid of who the man was and what Pinero did, or he wanted the role. He wanted to play Pinero. He knew what, how risky it could be, since this was a man that, did exist.
Well, I guess I started stealing when I was 8. Milk and bread for my baby sister and brother. Then other times we walk into the supermarket, we just eat the food right off the aisle and not even pay. We walk right outside.
I think it's one of the greater challenges that an actor can face, to portray someone who actually lived, because you have the pressure of not only being true to the man, in my case, and his spirit, but also his survivors, his family members, his best friends. What we hope is that in watching the film, you will come away with an essence of the era, but certainly more importantly, who the man was and how his writing was so influential then and continues to be a powerful legacy left behind.
He wanted to want more wants, but he never gave, he never gave, he never gave. He never gave his love to his children. He never gave his heart to his people.
I'm sort of a compulsive notebook writer. I'm always, noticing things about people and writing down ideas about, what people say or where or work. I guess I work a lot from behavior. That's sort of the main thing that interests me. And there are times where I'm so immersed in what I'm writing or thinking about that everything I observe seems to somehow inform it or be a part of it or speak to it or something. And I'll write it and rewrite it over and over again. And there are other times where it's not like that at all. Sometimes I feel that I'm living it in a way that's a little bit hard to describe.
From first-time filmmaker Mark Singer.
When I first came down in the tunnel, it looked dangerous, man. I was scared.
A remarkable, intimate portrait of human survival. A documentary tour de force about life underground. The critically acclaimed Dark Days.
This month on Sundance Channel.